Oh, hey, we're back.
We're back.
It's like we never left.
What?
I mean, we did. This is a few days later, the recording session, obviously, but
Whoa.
we don't just sit here on the couch
Time
waiting
slippage.
You've had several full and cogent days. You've been cognizant.
Or have I?
For the majority of it, I'd say. Oh, shit. New light novel title. Help, my wife died and was replaced with a pea zombie.
Oh, no.
How do you know? Right? How do I know that? Bataille is quiet on Sundays, quieter than normal. It's the only day the dollar store isn't open, and usually the town nurse takes the day off as well. At the moment, I don't have many leads, and I doubt anyone wants to be disturbed today, so I go home. I can only hope to find out more information by meeting up with Julian at the diner later tonight. I plan to spend the day keeping to myself, preparing for the strange yet interesting evening to come with Julian Bataille. I really hope we're saying Bataille right. Like, we're not going to figure out until because episode 1 isn't going up until, like, tomorrow. So
it'll be awesome when it turns out we got halfway through the game saying everyone's name wrong.
Right? And then everyone's going to be, it's like, it's Bataille, it's pronounced Worcester.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you. It's Worcester. All right. Come on. What do we got?
Every time the text box border loads first, I instantly get filled with fear that it's about to crash.
I mean, it's we're playing this on the Switch version.
Yeah.
For full transparency. And I've played a handful of visual novels that for whatever reason or another, like their engine just doesn't interpolate well on Switch. I don't take that as a knock against it.
Me neither. It just fills me with the fear that, like, oh, crash. Oh, fuck.
Well, it'd be good content, right? If it works for Game Grumps. Then again, we're not really the loud reacty type, are we? Unfortunately, the day off means that Stacy has nowhere to be, and she comes home just as I'm settling down to go over my notes on the Jessica Murdoch disappearance.
So, how was church? Did you enjoy yourself?
Tell me, Stacy, do you believe in Jesus Christ or Lucius Christ?
What? How could you even ask me such a thing? There is no Lucius Christ.
I'm surprised by how flustered the question seems to make her. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to understand the difference between the two denominations here.
I didn't know you were going to a Lucian church. That's awful.
A? There's one. You could say it's the, not A.
I wouldn't call the Lucians a denomination. Their religion is false. They are people who fell to the influence of the devil on the day of the contingency.
Okay, wait, maybe you know this. Do you know when we all agreed to start calling it the contingency? Do you remember? Was there a memo that I just, like... Or did we all just wake up one day and start calling it that? Just tell me who you heard it from. I'll go talk to them. And then I'll go down the line. There has to be an end somewhere, right? She comes back. Okay, so apparently it's a big chain.
It turns out everyone heard it from Erica.
Never. All right, never mind. Whatever it is, it's outside of my pay grade. I'm here to find people, not gods.
Come now, Erica. There's only one God.
Well, it's not my job to figure out what's going on with him.
You sure seem anxious today, even more anxious than usual.
I have a date with Julian Bataille this evening.
What?
Okay, personal space. I talked to him at the Anointed Lucian Church. He asked me out. We're going tonight to the diner.
Julian Bataille doesn't eat at the diner.
I know. You should have seen his face when he figured that out. He made that very clear. He was also willing to make an exception for me.
This is amazing. Maybe you can ask him about the train.
The train? Why does everyone... Okay, you know what? Never mind. I understand the fixation on the train. That's totally reasonable.
I have a huge favor to ask you, Erica.
Yeah, what's up?
Please, Erica, I don't like to ask you for anything. You already do so much good work at your job, and I'm grateful, but this would mean so much to me, and...
Calm down, Stacy. Tell me what you want.
I need to know something new about the train. Something no one has heard before.
Really? Jessica was interested in the train, too. I'm definitely going to ask about it. What do you care?
It's kind of embarrassing.
Now I'm even more interested.
This is the last step, so I can join the Order of the Line.
Why does everything have a... Why so many secret societies? I need like... I'm gonna need like a chart to keep track of all these.
It's a town with 750 people and 750 secret societies. It's perfect.
You don't say. The train cult?
They aren't a cult.
Oh, okay. So even if you are right, like 80% of the time, people who are in cults will just say they're not. The 20% when they're honest is the weird ones, honestly. They are absolutely a cult.
We wouldn't be alive without the train. It brings food, medicine, clothes, everything we need. Shouldn't we respect it? Shouldn't we study it?
Why are you talking about it like it's a unknowable? It's a train. We know how we made trains.
Do we? Did we?
I understand the fascination. It's the only sign we have that anyone beyond the town even knows about our situation. Clearly someone is sending those supplies, but that is all the train carries. Supplies. There is nothing else to be found. Unless you have some way of crossing the towers, we just have to accept what it brings us. Oh my god, are they going full cargo cult?
Yup. Maybe you do, maybe I do, but Julian Bataille knows more than either of us. He oversees the distribution of train supplies.
Okay, see that's a reasonable suspicion. But you can stop there. You don't need to worship the train, okay? Tell me how you feel about trains right now. And just off the top of your head, what do you think about a train?
I think this is trains culture.
I was gonna save that one for the episode title, but whoops! I guess it is trains culture now.
And I need a new piece of information. I need to be able to bring something useful to the Order, so they'll make me a full member.
Then what?
What do you mean?
What's the game plan after that? What happens when you're a full member of the Order?
I get to send messages on the train.
Do you mean those boxes the Order stores away when you think no one's looking? Okay, so Erica does know that much. Okay. Why would you want to do that? They've never heard anything back.
Not yet, but those messages go somewhere. Every week, the Order manages to plant a small shoebox full of messages on the train. They never gotten a response, but the messages don't come back.
What do you mean?
Colleen says that every time the shoebox is gone.
So at a minimum, that means someone is taking stuff off at the other end. Okay, I can... You know what? No. Maybe not the cult part of it, but I can see the dedication to wanting to... Okay. Colleen Hughes, right? She leads the Order?
That's right, and thanks to her we know that someone's collecting the messages. Someone is getting them.
I thought you believed the world has fallen to demons.
Well, I do, but what if some good folks are still out there? Why do you care anyway? You don't believe anything gets out of this town.
Danny Richards proved that, at least in regards to this goddamn train. Maybe the shoebox explodes at the towers too. It just disintegrates into nothing, and because of that, the Order of the Line has a couple dozen people running around like it's the lifeline out of this town. All because no one can really see what happens. It's destroyed, just like anything else.
Why would you believe that?
Why would you believe anything different?
Even if you don't, it's worth hoping. I guess you're not used to putting faith into much of anything, but if you tried, you'd understand.
It really means that much to you?
If I can get a message on that train, maybe I can tell my parents I'm okay. Who knows if it's real? Who knows if the messages explode just like you say? But what harm is there in trying?
The harm is the hope, Stacy. But even so, I'll do what I can.
Thank you. This is just what I need to...
Just don't get your hopes up. My priority is finding our missing persons. But if I learn anything new about the train, I will tell you.
Thanks again, and I hope you enjoy your date.
Awesome. Real quick, do you know where the phrase trains culture came from? Do you know the origin of that?
We've all used it since the contingency.
Okay. I'm just gonna keep it that way then. All right. Good for you, Stacy.
Julian Bataille. I can't believe it. He's so handsome. Not to mention powerful and rich.
It's not
Have fun, Erica. You deserve it. I can't wait to hear all about it.
Stacy leaves and heads to her room. I can't get what she said out of my head. I know there is no way out of Bataille, but why am I so insistent that even a box of messages can't reach the outside world? No one knows what happens to the train when it leaves the towers. No one knows who restocks it. No one knows who controls it, and no one knows who brings it back to the town. Why is it so hard to believe that it could provide even a glimmer of hope? I don't even know who I could talk to about this. Everyone else here belongs here. They're trapped in Bataille, but Bataille is their home. Bataille is not my home. There's exactly one person who understands that, and he is a serial killer. What am I supposed to do? Talk about it with him? Start a podcast, maybe? But
who hasn't these days?
Ah! I put it out of my head. I still have a job to do. I have to find Jessica Murdoch.
Bataille, population 750, number of podcasts 750.
What? No, I think the distribution's off, because if you start one, you're likely to start a second one.
Yeah, that's true.
And I
gotta have all the crossovers.
Oh, yep. And I believe my so-called date with Julian Bataille will give me a chance to find out more about her in the days before she disappeared. Honestly, what I would be amazed if there wasn't one person who was like a dedicated like historian for this. Like, just hire. If you got a town of 750 or whatever, you can afford to have one person just be like, okay, here's what the town in general is up to each day. Here's the points of interest. Like,
yeah.
As I walk into the diner, why is there an ATM at the diner? Yeah, that'll help. As I walk into the diner, I ask myself again why I'm doing this. Obviously, I want to learn more about the mysterious Bataille family. This seems like my best chance to do so. In that case, why does my heart flutter when I step into the diner and look around for him? Why am I worried that I didn't dress nicely enough? All I wore was the same sheriff outfit that I've worn every single day that I've been here. Or at least the past 2 days when the camera's been on. I'm not doing this for the sake of romantic pursuit, but I can't deny the fact that Julian is incredibly attractive. He's not at the diner yet, so I get a table for us and wait. A few minutes pass. I order some coffee. Hold on, I got this. It's not coffee. It's Caffex, but you know, I don't want to have caffeine at like 9 o'clock at night. A few more minutes pass, then 10 more. Did Julian Bataille stand me up? Finally, right when I'm about to give up and leave. Oh, so sorry I'm late. I never noticed him come in. Now that I look at him, though, I can't imagine how I missed him. He looks completely out of place in the diner. At church, his suit wasn't quite so conspicuous, but in the rugged diner, he's like a rose in a field of daisies. He slips quickly into the bench across from me, then scoots to the corner as if to hide himself. I glance around and notice that most of the people in the diner are staring at our booth. Perhaps they recognized him? Amusing as it is, I'm not thrilled about the extra attention myself. I turn back to Julian and try my best to ignore everyone else. Do you want to do Erica in this scene? Because I don't want to talk to myself.
Sure. You're 23 minutes late.
As I said, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm the narration too.
Yeah.
He seems irritated, but for some reason that just makes me angrier. If your plan is to impress or seduce me, then you're off to a very poor start.
I deeply apologize.
His tone shifts now. He leans over the table, stares at me with those intense reddish eyes, then speaks in a husky voice.
Is there any way I can make it up to you?
I shift in my seat, trying to ignore the obvious implication of his voice. You can't give me back the time you wasted. Just make sure you don't do it again.
I'll do my best, though I can't offer any guarantees. Sometimes things just come up. I'm sure you understand.
I suppose. Can you tell me then what came up?
Oh, wait, hold on. What is this game rated? Are you this confrontational with everyone that you talk to? Just
yes,
I know
actually.
I haven't done much to engender any respect in you yet, but is this how you're with everyone?
Yes.
Oh, no, that explains a lot.
Before Julian can reply, the waitress arrives and asks for our order. I request a chicken sandwich and fries. Without looking at the menu, Julian orders their best steak and red wine.
Do you have the blood steak? The steak with the blood. The what? The menu item. How about blood cakes? They're like pancakes, but made with. No, just me then. All right.
You're looking for like a full English with the blood sausage. Okay.
That's blood sausage is a thing. Oh my gosh! Everyone's gonna be so happy to learn this. We've been doing this the hard way all this time.
Once she leaves, I return quickly to the matter at hand. So, you were about to tell me why you were late?
Oh, you really can't let this go, can you?
No, I don't like to waste time. Especially when there are 2 teenagers missing and I'm trying to find them.
Have you reached a dead end then? Did you not find something useful at the Reed's cabin? You know you know exactly why she did it. She explained it to you.
How do you know I searched
Wait.
the Reed's cabin?
Did we explain that to him?
We didn't.
No. Oh, I spoke to Maddie this afternoon.
What? I told you this morning you've already interfered enough with Maddie.
I just wanted to check in on her to see how she was doing is all.
Are the 2 of you friends?
What does that word mean?
I see.
Not exactly. She's been an acquaintance of mine for some time. She ran PR for the hotels I managed back in the Ozarks.
Interesting. I resist the urge to take out a notebook and make a physical note of this. It's still supposed to be a date, after all. Whatever that is.
Alright, so I guess remember that detail?
What else did she tell you about the cabin?
She seemed hopeful. She indicated that you found something useful, that's all.
She shouldn't have told you anything at all, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised at this point.
Maddie, if Maddie isn't a plant, she's doing a very terrible job of it. Like, if she's not a plant, then she's like the best possible. An awkward silence. Oh, yeah.
An awkward silence passes, then I realize. You derailed the conversation again. You still haven't told me why you were late.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
His voice is loud enough to draw a few curious glances. Gnashing his teeth, Julian sinks into the booth and fixes me with a heated glare.
I was negotiating the cost of a delivery. It was more difficult than expected. Does that satisfy you?
A delivery? Does this have something to do with the fact that the train is coming tomorrow?
And who is he negotiating with?
Yeah, huh?
Right? Because everyone's assuming that they've got a system worked out. And perhaps they do, but how would they negotiate with anyone on the outside?
Yeah.
Unless there's someone other than them that has privileged knowledge and a privileged line of communication, or indeed there is a way to send messages on the train. Yes, if you must know.
So, you manage what happens to the supplies once they arrive?
More or less. And by the way, your coffee is delicious.
Who gave you that authority?
Sorry, I just kept sipping out of your coffee. Or would you prefer I step aside and let the whole town drag supplies off the train as they see fit? That would be chaos. If someone didn't oversee the process, some idiots would argue about who gets which kind of beans, and eventually people would start killing each other. Even now, my guards must sometimes use force to keep people away from the train and its cargo. I gave myself the authority because I could, and no one opposed me. Unless you'd like to be the first. I like how like middling ours are like system's perfect, or you could probably do a better job. I don't agree in principle. I mean, I don't disagree in principle with the idea that there had to be someone in charge of it. But the idea of picking that person picking themselves and not being.
Yeah.
Still, what do you think we should do here?
I feel like play along.
Really? Because we have. I'll do that one, but we have had pushback when people have told it. Because remember when with our roommate, and when she thought we were just telling her what she wanted to hear? Sometimes they will push back on us. It's not just a straight up or down. But that's the one you want to do?
I guess. I suppose that if you hadn't stepped forward, there would have been chaos.
Notice that he didn't like that.
Yeah, huh?
Certainly. And who else would have stepped forward other than my family?
I don't know, the mayor? Julian laughs.
Woo! Yeah, you're very funny, you know that? Mayor Ward performs his job well enough, but supervising the train requires a firm hand. He doesn't have one.
I see your point. The waitress arrives with our food. I don't realize how hungry I am until the delicious chicken sandwich and fries dazzle my senses. I dive right in. Julian, on the other hand, stares quietly at his steak for some time. He pokes it a couple times with his knife. Is everything all right?
Yes, it just seems a little, overcooked.
I guess you have your own chefs at the Bataille mansion.
I, usually prepare my own food. I have, certain preferences. The thing is, like, if he's not a vampire, then what's the point of doing all this? Like, it's clearly not a mystery or a big reveal, right?
Yeah.
So what the hell? Never mind. What's that saying? Variety is the spice of life, after all.
Very slowly, he cuts off a piece of steak and slowly brings it to his mouth. I don't mean to stare, but I can't help myself.
I apologize. I don't have a steak for the Foley work, so I just use your coffee again. That coffee thing is very good, by the way. I'll have to have my chefs work on it.
Finally, he puts the steak in his mouth, chews, stops. I might imagine it, but his face seems to turn slightly green. Are you sure you're all right? He doesn't reply, but after quite some time, he closes his eyes and swallows.
Wasn't one of the books we read had something about the peculiarities of a vampire diet? Did I hallucinate that?
What?
I thought one of the books we found had something to say about the peculiarities of a vampire diet.
Oh, yeah, it totally did, I think.
I do not remember what it said, though, because we recorded that episode a little while ago. I'm fine. I'm quite fine. Thank you.
He reaches for the wine and sips that next. It seems to go down smoother. We're both quiet as we return to our meal. He continues to eat, albeit very slowly, and sometimes the look on his face suggests he'll turn around and vomit.
Can't prove that.
But he keeps eating, and so do I. When it comes time to collect the check, I can't hold back my question anymore. Why did you really ask me on this date?
So I could get to know you, and so you could get to know me. You seem to resent me or perhaps suspect me, but I think you'll find that our interests align, so there's no reason to oppose each other. We both want peace and stability in Bataille. Is that right?
The check arrives. Julian quickly pays it with a large stack of cash. The waitress blushes, mutters her thanks, and hurries off.
Your turn. Why did you accept my invitation?
Because I wanted to learn about you, too. Remembering my original plan, I'm struck with sudden inspiration. If our interests truly align, then I suppose I can tell you something. Maybe you'll have some insight. I found evidence that Jessica and Gary stayed in the cabin, but I also found a third fingerprint, one I haven't yet been able to identify. I found it in the attic. And there it is, the reaction I baited him for. Julian's eyes go wide. He sits up straighter. Then, after just a moment, he tries to suppress it.
That sounds that's promising, perhaps. On the other hand, even if someone else was in the cabin, that wouldn't mean very much, would it? Or perhaps it was just someone passing through the woods. It could mean anything.
It might mean something, it might mean nothing, but figuring out who the fingerprint belongs to could give us a lead.
Fantastic.
Julian looks especially pale as he downs the rest of his wine.
Are you ready to go? The one thing that's interesting to me so far is that this is an Otome game, right? And so far we haven't really been given much of a reason to care about any of the prospective love interests.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess the other vampire dude. What was his vampire bro's name?
Liam.
Liam?
Yeah.
Yeah, Liam was kind of cool, but also hasn't we haven't seen much of him yet, so it's hard to tell. Whereas Julian is clearly a vampire and maybe evil, and
August is August.
August is just a lot.
Before we go our separate ways, Julian moves a little closer to me. He lowers his voice so I have to lean in to hear it.
I didn't only ask you on a date to learn more about you. I also asked you because,
He puts his hand on my shoulder, then moves it to my neck, caressing ever so softly.
I can't help but think of you as such a snack.
He leans closer, perhaps to kiss me. My heart races. I shouldn't want this, and yet, as I stare into his eyes, I want him to keep coming closer. Someone exits the diner and moves past us. Julian immediately stiffens and draws back. At last, his hand moves down my arm and takes my hand. In this position, in this drawing, he suddenly looks like Dio Brando, but with different hair.
Oh my god, he is! He is! You thought I was a vampire, but it is me, Dio.
Also a vampire.
Also a vampire.
He leans down, brings my hand to his lips, and kisses it tenderly. It seems very old-fashioned, and yet I feel a pleasant tingle radiate from my hand through my body, and I don't want him to stop.
Have a good night, Erica.
You too. My heart beats heavily as I turn around to walk home. What did I just do? I lied about the fingerprint.
I've gotten to first base.
I lied about the fingerprint, but I had to. I needed to know if he was hiding something. His reaction confirmed what I already suspected.
Right. That they had sent Maddie there purposely to hide someone else's appearance, and that seeing someone else, and that finding out that someone else was there was something he didn't want known.
Yep.
And that they already knew.
Maddie successfully erased the trail of someone else in that cabin, and I need to figure out who.
So what's our opinion on Maddie here? Willing conspirator or thrall?
Vampire thrall.
You were thinking thrall?
Yep.
All right. What's the thrall's name in God, there's one very well-known thrall in vampire literature, and I can't remember his fucking name for the life of me. It'll come to me 4 hours later when we're trying to go to bed.
As vampires tend to.
Damn it! You're right.
We went on a whole date with a Dracula and I didn't even scream. I'm so brave.
An excerpt from the musical Lucius. Who are you, Lucius? What have you sacrificed? God, okay, no joke. Jesus Christ Superstar, I listened to that a lot growing up. I wasn't not because I was Christian or anything, but because the first time I listened to it, what I heard was the overture. And I was in my prog rock phase back then, and I'm like, oh, this is actually cool. And then I had to listen to the rest of it because I'm that kind of person that will stubbornly listen to a full album whether or not I want to listen to everything on it. An excerpt from the musical Lucius Christ Superstar, as allegedly performed at the Bataille Middle School in March 1997. Wait, hold on, which song is this?
Oh.
Is this Heaven on Their Minds? I think.
It might be.
Listen, Lucius, I don't like what I hear. And all I ask is that you take in my fear. And remember, I've been your left-hand man from the start. You have given them a goal, and now they promise you their souls. and they'll hurt you if you break their hearts. I can't get... Yes, this is... Yeah, this is Heaven on Their Minds. I remember when this whole thing began. No talk of God, then we called you a king. And believe me, my dedication isn't lost. But every word you say this hour is turned to something I find sour. And it will crush you once it's been crossed. From Italy, huh? Hold on, this part goes. Italy, your favorite son, stood have stayed a bland patron, like his father ruling Rome. He'd at home. Finance gold and ducats left would have suited Lucius best. He'd have caused nobody harm, no one alarm. Goes into 7 there. And that, as SK tries to remember any of the melody to some of Jesus Christ Superstar. I appreciate that they kept it in the same meter and rhythm as the original.
Yeah.
That takes talent. Oh, good. My 2 favorite people. I'm surprised to find that August and Maddie are already at the precinct when I arrive the next morning. August grins sweetly at me.
Is that a sweet grin?
It's as close as I get. August grins sweetly at me, and Maddie, on the other hand, scowls at the both of us. Oh, hey, her shoulder thing, her elbow thing.
Oh, yeah.
I find it all quite suspicious. I appreciate the fact that both of you are eager about this job, but you don't need to arrive before 7 unless we have an emergency.
What can I say? I miss the sight of these stale white bricks in the morning. 2 people are still missing. Isn't that an emergency?
Yes, and we might be closer to finding them if you hadn't destroyed so much evidence. She shakes her head with a huff.
I'll make breakfast. Scrambled eggs for both of you.
They get breakfast when you go to work? Hell yeah. That's where I want to eat breakfast.
Yes, thank you. And please burn the bacon nice and black, like Erica always did.
Once Maddie is in the kitchen, I motion August aside. I have a plan for today, and I want you to talk to a witness and examine a crime scene.
Oh, now this sounds like fun.
So there's one thing I didn't tell you before. At the cabin, I found a letter inviting Jessica and Gary to safely leave the town. Whoever sent it may be hiding them or may have hurt them. If you're going to be free, you might as well be useful, and right now I could use the perspective of a criminal.
Just a criminal, not a criminal mastermind.
Well, you got caught, didn't you? Oh, that is the line! Well, you were caught. That was just me riffing on them. Okay, fair.
Maybe I wanted to be caught.
I thought you insisted that you weren't the heartbreaker.
I was indulging you. I am not the heartbreaker, but I do agree you could use my insight, because I suspect this whole situation might have more to do with my area of expertise than yours.
And what exactly is your area of expertise? Murder?
Philosophy?
I would just as soon headbutt you in the neck again.
You keep offering and not following through.
It's because we have a witness. Maddie, could you just the eggs could... No, I really want eggs. Eggs or headbutt? They better be good eggs. I don't see how that's even remotely possible, but I'll take it as a yes.
So, where are we headed?
Jessica had a close friend named Sarah. I've already talked to her once, but I want you to give it a try. She's not much younger than your students, so you might be able to get more out of her. And at the cabin where Jessica and Jerry were staying, Bataile's probably nowhere near as good at cleaning up a crime scene as you, so you might see something she missed.
I'll do what I can. Can I see the letter you found?
So we're assuming that August might be able to see something at a crime scene that even we missed? Or did we not look... Or is it that we saw Maddie had cleaned it up, got angry at her, and just left?
We also couldn't do too much looking while Maddie is there, right?
True. So
because if we were going to be close to finding anything, she would make sure to obstruct us.
Right. So we're sending August to go off and do it on his own because that's the only way we can...
Yep.
I hesitate. I've already sealed that letter in protective plastic and placed it in my vault, wary of who else might see it.
If it was written by a criminal mastermind, as you suspect, perhaps I can learn something about his thought process.
Using philosophy?
Using my general knowledge.
Of philosophy?
Of philosophy.
Okay. One way or another, he has a point. Reluctantly, I retrieve the letter and give it to him. Careful, please.
Of course.
He takes a few minutes to read it over. I watch his expression, but I can't interpret his reaction.
I take it you already brushed for fingerprints.
Yes, the only ones I found were Maddie's.
Well, that alone is quite telling. If Jessica received this letter, why wouldn't her fingerprints be on it?
Oh, fuck, you're right. Oh, shit, he's right. Heartbreaking. That's why he's called the Heartbreaker. Because the worst person you know just made a good point. Ugh, I know that. I yank the letter back in frustration, then lock it back in the vault. I can handle the police work. I wanted your take on the voice of the letter.
I think it was written by someone conceited and manipulative, but that could be anyone, including this Bataille Repatriation Society. Breakfast.
Maddie returns with 2 plates of eggs and bacon. The bacon is quite undercooked, which August notes by examining it with a look of disappointment.
I can't believe you're letting a serial killer help you with this case over me.
If there is a malicious criminal behind Jessica's disappearance, August might help us understand their intent.
Actually, I'm not.
Maddie ignores August as if he's not in the room.
Is it true you had a date with Julian Bataille last night?
That's not any of your business, actually. Turns out.
I might have let something slip.
August? I was this close to not kicking you in the dick today.
I don't think you should get close to Julian, not like that. Jealous, are we? I respect the Batailles a great deal, I do, and no, I'm not interested in Julian that way. I'm not interested in any men that way.
Oh, really?
Now I see why you're immune to my charms.
Wait, Maddie route? Maddie route?
Maddie route.
I mean, granted, we're playing in a Tomei game here. I'm not expecting there to be a gay option.
But if it is the year of our Lord 2022, we can dream big.
Maddie takes a deep breath, and to my surprise, I realize she's trembling.
Julian's a good friend. I just don't think he'd make a good boyfriend, I guess. That's all.
Do you know something I don't, Maddie? Can Julian Bataille be abusive?
I'm not sure. I don't know anything concrete. It's more just a feeling.
She scratches her inner elbow where the bandage used to be. Thank you for the warning, but I can protect myself. I'm already suspicious of Julian and his entire family. The only reason I went on a date with him was to gather information. All I managed to do was confirm that he's hiding something.
I believe you're wrong. I hope you're wrong. The Batailles are good people. But if that's really what you think, then maybe I can help. I've known them for a while. I can tell you what I know.
Let me be clear about something, Maddie. I don't trust you. Even if you told me all about your experiences with the Batailles in great detail, I wouldn't know how much to believe. Until I know I can trust you, I don't want you to do anything at all but watch the desk, clean the building, and get our food. Are we clear? But not in like a sexist way, and more like I'm angry at you professionally way. It's just that turns out the busy work duties happen to align with what we traditionally think that the female role should be in a heteronormative model of a relation. I don't have time to unpack that right now, though. So just food.
Crystal.
No, Erica, but good enough. Let's go, August. Shit, no one's addressed me by my proper name today at all. Ugh. August, get over here. You're the only one who calls me by my full name. Say it once, and then 10 feet away.
Sherika.
Oh, that's good. Thank you. I feel more than a little uncomfortable bringing August to the Bataille school, but I know it's important. He knows more about people Sarah's age than I ever will. He taught freshman college classes and dealt with them all the time. Meanwhile, I barely ever interacted with anyone younger than 20. It's rare that someone so young would end up a federal criminal. Unfortunately, we once again have to go through Principal Vincent to even speak to Sarah.
Through who?
Vincent. The principal formerly known as Vincent.
How dare you bring this monster into my school, Sheriff Wright?
Listen.
You told us yourself that this man was the heartbreaker killer. Now, you escort him into the only sanctuary the youth of Bataille can rely upon, and 2 of your students disappeared a few days ago. And this is no sanctuary. What is he doing here, Sheriff Wright?
Sheriff Erica. I don't use my last name for this. We want to talk to Sarah again.
I won't expose one of my students to this monster. Then tell us what you know about Jessica Murdoch, Principal Vincent. What? I accept that you don't want me around your students. That's fair. I've been accused of terrible crimes. I did not commit these crimes, of course, but how could you know that for sure?
Get to the point, August.
You don't want to let me see Sarah and ask her about Jessica, that's fine. Surely you can be just as informative. I can? She was one of your students, wasn't she? And you only have about 140 students here, right? She was exceptional. She stood out, challenging the status quo. Surely you knew Jessica well. Well, I don't really... You teach English too, don't you? Surely she was one of your students. She was smart. She had to be in a class with one of the 2 qualified teachers in all of Bataille. It was a large class. You knew nothing about
Oh,
her.
right, he's the second. It took me a moment there. I'm like, oh, right, this dip.
You couldn't help us answer a single question about her. I am busy overseeing the school. Only 140 students, Principal. That's less than 2 lecture sessions for my undergrad class. What are you getting at? Okay, tell me about Gary. What was Gary like? I didn't really have Gary in any of my classes, and... So, tell me about Sarah Carpenter. Well, Sarah is a very well-behaved and well-liked young woman. She... Now, what about Bobby Richardson? Oh, Bobby. Bobby is, well, if I remember right, Bobby Richardson is well-behaved and... I made him up.
Alright, dick move, but like, okay. Once again, heartbreaking. Worst person you know just did something moderately competent. Ugh.
What? There is no Bobby Richardson. I should have let you dig your hole a little deeper, but I got excited. Well,
Just let us talk to Sarah. Visibly shaken, Principal Vincent hurries out of her own office. She doesn't even return with Sarah, instead letting the girl inside and staying out in the hall herself.
Sheriff Wright, I've already told you everything
She stops short the second she sees August standing next to me.
Oh, I know who you are. You're that man being held at the jail.
Sarah, this is August Flynn. He's actually a professor of philosophy at Washington University in St. Louis. Finding Jessica is so important that I decided to let him out so he could help me.
That is not precisely what happened, but close enough.
I will revoke your bacon privileges.
Oh, fuck.
He leans in, staring at Sarah straight in the eyes. It's scary to me, knowing him and what he's done, but Sarah just seems a little puzzled by it.
Sarah, I need to know about the Bataille Reclamation Society.
Your charms won't work on her. Well, you'll find out.
You mean the Repatriation Society?
Oh, I see what you did there. Because that confirms that she does know what it is about it, so she can't say, yeah.
Excellent. We've established that you have heard of it, and you neglected to mention it to my good friend Miss Wright the other day.
I don't know what makes me bristle more, that he said we're good friends or that he called me Miss Wright. I told him I prefer to be called Sherika. But will he listen to that? No. But his play was remarkably effective, so I say nothing.
Do you have an explanation for this?
Sarah looked at him sheepishly.
It's just something I overheard Jessica saying once. I asked her what it was, and she made me swear not to tell anyone what I heard.
When someone is missing and might be in danger, your promises to them don't mean anything.
Yes, they do. What if Jessica doesn't want to be found? She has a point, Erica.
I want to snap back at him, but I realize it's better to let him build a rapport with Sarah. I might be able to get more out of her if I'm the bad cop.
Surely, with a name like that, you were curious about the Bataille Repatriation Society. Surely you did some investigation of your own. Anything you found is your own research. It has nothing to do with your promise to Jessica, so there's no harm in telling us. I don't know. Oh, wait, do we want to play good cop, bad cop?
That's what I'm thinking. Like we could let August keep going, but like they mentioned, or like specifically just a few lines ago, they're like, oh, maybe we should try to play bad cop.
Yeah.
Maybe being the bad cop to August's good cop might be more effective here.
Let's give it a shot.
Do you want to try it?
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Now we know you're hiding something from us. Tell us, or you'll be taking the empty cell next to my desk.
What? Now, there's no need for threats. Sarah isn't going to give us the information we need because she's afraid of a jail cell. She's already trapped here. We'd only be shrinking her cage.
We'd be shrinking it by a lot.
Not really, in the global scale of things.
All right, no more bacon.
No, Sarah is going to give us the information we need because Jessica could be in danger. You see, Sarah, not that long ago, I was accused of doing some very terrible things. And in order to defend myself, I had to learn as much as I could about the terrible things they accused me of doing.
I want to roll my eyes out of my head.
Here is the key, Sarah. The person that the government accused me of being had a very specific modus operandi. Do you know what a modus operandi means, Sarah? Not really.
No, no Latin textbook survived the contingency.
Well, the simple definition is mode of operation, but it is more accurately translated as a boundary of work that will be done. This is an important distinction when dealing with crime. You see, the simple definition frames the decisions of the criminal as a choice, whereas the true definition correctly frames it as a limitation. A criminal like the Heartbreaker Killer does not choose how he kills his victims. He is compelled to work within certain boundaries, either by his own psyche or by the collective will of society.
Where in the world are you going with this, August?
A crime committed in broad daylight is a crime easily punished. The mores of society force crime into the shadows, and someone who wishes to hurt or kill another must lure their victim into these shadows.
The shadows?
The shadows.
Oh, the shadows!
The Heartbreaker would identify his victims, find something they want, then lure them away from the light. I fear that the very same may have happened to your Jessica. This is a small town, full of prying eyes. Someone who wanted to hurt Jessica would have to compel her away from those eyes with the promise of something she wanted. What if this is the goal of this so-called Bataille Repatriation Society?
So his theory is that it doesn't actually exist and that it's just something somewhat like a promise someone was using to lure her away.
Yep.
I see. That's not a bad idea. But if Sarah has independently found out stuff about them, then that means that they're, to a degree, legitimate.
Also, an interesting thing with this point is that clearly August can't mean what he's saying because he and we know that Jessica never received that letter about it. The only person who touched that letter was Maddie.
Yeah.
So, for Sarah to know about it actually means something rather different, huh?
Because then that would seem to implicate her.
Yeah. You really think Jessica might be in trouble?
If I wanted to hurt Jessica, this would be how I would secret her away.
Well, I did some research on my own. I asked around, just a bit. Didn't get anything concrete. But if they're connected to anyone, it's probably Freedom's Dawn. Son of a bitch!
Another one! Okay, hold on. Hold on, I've got my notebook. Just gonna add it onto my ever-growing list of secret societies. Plural. That I have to keep adding to. The survivalists? Look, I haven't had any trouble for them since the police uprising. Oh, right, that's one we've heard of. Oh, well, fair enough. But if they go after anyone, it's probably me. The FBI agent who's suddenly their sheriff. Why would they target some high school girl?
I'm just telling you what I heard.
Listen to what Sarah is saying, Erica. Just because your preconceptions cause you to doubt her, that doesn't mean she's wrong.
I'm not trying to protect Freedom's Dawn. If I'm being honest with both of you, they scare the shit out of me. In fact, I spent my first few years investigating groups like that. After Oklahoma City, they had us working overtime on them. That said, as far as I can tell, their members in Bataille are practically the only ones content to be cut off from the rest of the world by the contingency.
Maybe that's just a cover. Seems strange you would be defending them.
I'm not. It just seems mixed up, that's all. Still, thank you for your time, Sarah. This was helpful. I don't relish the idea, but it looks like we'll have to go figure out how Freedom's Dawn fits into all of this.
Do you think I was helpful, August?
Of course you were, Sarah. Now go back to class. We'll let you know if I need anything else.
We'll let you know if I need it. She gets up and leaves, and I immediately turn to August and give him a look. How the hell did you get to be the good cop?
I've been told that several of my students have developed a crush on me. I suspect it is because I hold a position of authority. I treat them as equals, and I give them attention that is otherwise denied by others in their life who have similar or greater authority.
Wait. Yeah, okay, fine. You have got to be kidding me.
Not that I would ever act on such a thing, but it is useful to know.
Better not act on anything with Sarah.
I wouldn't dare, even if I was such a lecherous person. She's not my type. I prefer women my own age, and especially women in uniform.
Also, I don't think you're her type. From what we learned from. You were useful, so I'm not going to argue with you, okay?
Good.
Gonna have a
We're
Scooby
making
snack.
progress. You're not even going to ask if I'm joking with you.
He seems so hurt that we won't joke with him. I'll give you one thing. Just one. Bataille Reclamation Society? Nice trick.
Teenagers always want to prove they're equal or better to their elders. I knew her desire to correct me would overrule her sense to keep quiet.
That is why I'm letting you tag along, not the other thing.
Yes, well, they were both useful. Shall we be going?
I hate August. He's a little shit. But I like the energy that he brings to investigating with Erica.
Yeah.
That is a really good dynamic.
And he's also wildly effective in comparison to everybody else here.
Right? Because, Erica isn't designed for this position. She was in law enforcement, yes, but she wasn't designed for this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
From what we know about her, she worked at, a higher level on very specialized groups doing very targeted and specific kinds of enforcement, right? Whereas this is more like a general, you need to keep the peace in a town of about 800, which is a different skill set.
Yep.
We arrive at the cabin and I see that nothing on the exterior has changed. No one has been out here since Maddie and I investigated the first time.
This is very near the tower line. Are you absolutely sure Jessica and Gary aren't out there?
I did a very thorough check at the perimeter. It was the first thing I did.
You didn't notice this cabin?
I had no reason to think it was important.
Fair enough. Let's see what's inside.
Yeah, because if you're looking at the perimeter, you don't, that doesn't mean it. You're just being a dick there, August. If someone dies from a tower, they're not going to be... Unless, does the tower fling them far away? Oh my god.
I suppose it depends how hard it explodes their head.
Yeah, that's true. Because at that point, you're just a physical object, right? Could you set it up such that someone would die on the perimeter, then like physics happens and their body is flung far away? Someone get back to me on that. We head into the cabin, and August immediately gravitates towards the books on the supernatural creatures near the bed. Don't worry about those. They're probably not important.
Have you seen how small the Bataille branch of the library is? I'll take any book I can get.
Even silly ones about vampires and werewolves? They're probably even published by the Weekly World News.
Sometimes there's truth to be found in the fantastical, Erica.
Fine. But first we're here to have a look at the attic. That is where I found Maddie. She said she cleaned it up.
You want me to find what she missed. Despite what you insist, covering up violent crime is not something I have a lot of experience in. Nevertheless, I will do my best.
He heads into the attic and I follow. I watch him as he examines the room, paying a good deal of attention to the roof on the left side.
Take a look at this beam.
What about it?
It immediately takes effect.
Aha! Oh my god, I can feel the effect!
It's chipped ever so slightly.
It's an old cabin.
This is fresh damage, and note how the wood is a little bit rougher around the chip.
You're stretching?
This spot was scrubbed more than the rest of the beam, and the others were barely wiped down.
Oh, what are you suggesting then?
I suspect there used to be a little bit of blood here. Probably where someone hit their head or their arm, based on the height. And Maddie scrubbed it away.
That's all you've got? There are all sorts of ways this beam could have been damaged. Erica, okay, now you're being a little... Okay, come on now. That was genuinely helpful. You don't need to be a...
But only one way it was damaged.
I knew this would happen.
What would happen?
You can't stand not having anything to contribute. You don't know something, you could just make something up.
What can I say? I like being useful.
You like sounding smart.
I will bet you that some kind of fight happened up here. Either between Jessica and Gary, or involving some third party.
What are we gonna bet?
I win, you have to cook me dinner. You win, I have to cook you dinner.
That sounds like I lose either way. How about if I win, you confess to the Heartbreaker murders?
Even if I didn't commit them.
Come on, August.
It is actually tempting because I find the possibility that you can prove a negative rather slight. But I must decline. I do not want to take on a bet if I cannot perform the conditions.
Then you aren't very certain of your conclusions.
I'm certain that something happened up here that required cleanup, and I'm certain that the Batailles instructed Maddie to perform that cleanup.
Yeah, thrall or otherwise, right?
However, I admit I may have extrapolated a bit, though you have to admit it's strange she scrubbed that single chipped spot on the rafter until it was raw.
No, I do think he's drawn a reasonable conclusion there,
Yep.
right? Like if the beams were not involved at all, and she was just being thorough, they would have been all cleaned about the same bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that that one was scrubbed harder than the others, and there's a gouge there, yeah, that would seem to suggest that was related.
Yep.
It's worth considering.
I believe that is all I can divine from this cabin. Shall we be going?
So what is our theory right now on what happened to the two? So someone... If the Bataille Repatriation Society is a front that Maddie wants us... That Maddie, or by proxy, the Batailles want us to investigate instead, right?
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of that, Jessica did show an independent interest in the train.
Yep.
So someone's trying to hijack on her perceived interest in that to get us to either look at this organization or get us going on a wild goose chase.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking Wild Goose Chase.
You're thinking Wild Goose Chase?
Yeah, I'm thinking that... Because we already know that, like, the Bataille's got to be involved in eating people.
Yep.
They're vampires. And also Julian had a spot of blood on his suit when we first met him and so on. So I bet they or someone associated with them are involved with killing and hiding the bodies of Jessica and Gary.
Okay.
And are now using these circumstances known to them to try and get Erica onto a tangent about the train and all of this stuff that's totally irrelevant.
Knowing what we do about, or knowing what we suspect about Julian, the blood might be entirely unrelated.
Yeah?
I mean, if you're a vampire, you have people you're biting on the regular. Yeah. But I like that. I like that theory. So then what is Sarah's angle then in knowing about this dead end?
Probably this was seeded by them at some point.
So you think that they purposely kind of set up this rumor and then that gained traction?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gives them a way to isolate people.
So it's
and
not
have a
that
plausible excuse.
It's not that Sarah knew about this because she had a hand in the cover up of it. It's that she just genuinely like that was just part of the knowledge going around that.
Yep. So there is knowledge of some general vague thing.
Okay.
But that's all there is. There isn't a real letter that's being sent to people and they're being invited and all that because that's a plant.
Right.
So it's just a convenient thing to have for when you need to falsify crime scenes.
Okay.
That's my theory.
Okay, I like it. My heart in my throat, I scan the horizon, half expecting more towers to rise from the ground, or something even more. I just realized I skipped a line, but that's fine. Instead, I just see the normal hills and trees. Did that just sound like a rifle to you?
Guns aren't my forte.
Maddie runs out of the precinct.
Oh, good, you're back. Did you hear that sound?
Wiping. Gunpowder. I'm not deaf.
It didn't come from the woods, and I don't think there's much game to hunt anyway.
I think it came from the train station. It's probably nothing, but I should check it out just in case.
Oh, right, the train was supposed to come in today.
I'm coming with you.
I'm coming too.
All right, squad up. I want to argue with both of them, but I don't have the energy. Fine. Maddie, lock up the precinct, then let's go. August, stop holding invisible oranges.
No.
Are you a metal musician?
Worse.
Worse?
I have a pentangle cover band. All 70s prog folk, all day.
Actually, Pentangle fucks. I'm cool with
Oh
that.
yeah, Pentangle's amazing.
And after a light flight over to the train station, we find that a mob has... surrounded the train. Bataille is a small town, but at least 100 people have gathered around the tracks today. Wow, that's a full eighth of the populace. That is.
Sizable.
Yeah. A few people try to climb a supply car while the Bataille guards fight them off, but the biggest commotion surrounds a door from which supplies are unloaded. I glimpse Julian standing on a secluded station at the platform, watching the disturbance just a few feet away. Several of Julian's guards and twice as many townsfolk struggle to take possession of a small shoebox. Make way! Coming through. Buzz Killington here. I yell and shove my way through the crowd, but my progress is slow. This is Sherika. Make way! I don't think anyone can hear my voice over the commotion. I try to push up past one large man. He responds by shoving me to the ground. His blow takes me by surprise as he knocks the wind out of me.
Hey, hands off.
I didn't know Maddie was so close to me, but she leaps towards the large man, startling him even more.
Take that.
Maddie sweeps her foot from behind the man's legs while shoving his sternum. He topples backwards, taking someone else in the crowd with him.
That's better.
Damn, Maddie, you really just went up 5 notches on my on my list there. High five.
This is a Tuesday for me.
I shudder to think about what Wednesdays are like. Maddie's hand
Cleaning
reaches
up the
toward
blood.
mine. She gets a CG!
Oh my god.
She gets a CG! Oh.
It's canon, Maddie Root.
Maddie Root? Maddie Root?
Yeah.
Maddie Root? I grip her hand in a state of disbelief as she pulls me to my feet. She seems so happy to have helped me. I struggle with how to respond. Don't call me boss. Thanks. How about thank you?
Yeah.
Guess you weren't kidding about that brown belt. Maddie liked that.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I
Oh,
told
shit.
you. In the year of our Lord 2022, we can dare to dream.
I appreciate the help. Let's keep moving. I realize that I lost track of August, but I can't worry about that right now. After a lot more yelling and shoving, I finally reached the crowd fighting over the shoebox. Among them, I see Stacy. She looks at me with a mixture of relief and embarrassment.
Erica, thank God you're here. We have to get that box.
Calm down. What's in the box?
Something. It doesn't matter what, but something. It's a miracle. The box returned to us with something inside of it.
The significance of what has happened starts to dawn on me, but I don't have time to dwell on it now. A man exchanges blows with one of the Bataille guards. Afterwards, the townsperson finally manages to rip the box from the guard's grip. The guard lifts his gun and fires. The noise rattles my head and explodes stars in my vision. I also glimpse a splash of blood. The crowd ebbs back. The man who grabbed the shoebox is lying on the ground, blood streaming from his shoulder. The shoebox falls from his grip. It breaks open. A piece of paper flutters out.
There, grab it.
Everyone stop! No one listens. Everyone's attention locks on the lone piece of fluttering paper. Everyone tries to grab it. Even me. I see a dark blur on the edge of my vision. Moving faster than I can comprehend, someone else snatches the paper and pulls back from the crowd. It's Charlotte Bataille. I don't even know where she came from, but now that she's here, she captures everyone's attention. She holds the letter high and saunters back and forth on the platform.
Settle down, folks. No need to worry. I've secured the letter. If you keep fighting over this, you'll rip it to shreds. Then everyone loses.
Everyone stops to watch Charlotte with bated breath. I'm both grateful that Charlotte has managed to calm everyone and flustered that she managed to do what I could not. Charlotte Bataille, I need you to explain what is happening here.
Oh, is that you, Sheriff? What a convenient time for you to arrive. Maybe if you had arrived a little sooner, a man wouldn't be bleeding out on the ground right now.
One of your guards shot him. I saw it happen. We'll discuss the punishment for that soon enough.
Punishment? That guard maintained order. If not for that gunshot, I wouldn't be holding this letter right now.
This excites the crowd again. People yell and shake their fists.
Give it back. Damn, that letter belongs to the Order of the Line.
Settle down, settle down. The way I see it, this letter belongs to all the people of Bataille, which is why I'll read it aloud for everyone to hear.
Charlotte, wait! The crowd yells and boos as I step forward to confront Charlotte. We don't know where that letter really came from. Oh, hold on. Where's the, I know there's a way to...
Is it ZR?
Let's find out. It's ZL.
ZL.
We shouldn't read it until we can confirm it's not a prank.
A prank? I don't see how that's possible. It was on the train when it returned from beyond the perimeter, Sheriff.
But was it? How do we know that the train didn't come across the perimeter? Someone opened the door, put it in, and then closed it, and then people opened and assumed it came from Can you say that in red, Charlotte? I need to know.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Brainworms.
These good townsfolk saw it unloaded with their very own eyes.
Nothing comes back after crossing the perimeter. That's impossible.
No one knows the difference between possible and impossible, Sheriff. Not anymore.
Okay, now you're just being a dick. The crowd cheers. Charlotte grins at me with sugary satisfaction. She knows I can't win here. She holds up the letter and clears her throat.
People of Bataille, it is with great honor and humility that I write to you now from the world beyond the towers.
And we don't know that she's actually reading what's on the letter in the first place, and she hasn't let anyone else see it.
Yep. I, Jessica Murdoch, have escaped Bataille with my beloved partner Gary Reed.
Gasps sweep across the crowd. My heart freezes in my chest.
I have sworn an oath not to explain how I achieved liberation, nor what I know of the world outside Bataille. But I can tell you this. It is all thanks to the Bataille Repatriation Society.
You're absolutely right that they're using the Bataille Repatriation Society as a front to hide the fact that they're taking townsfolk and killing them to sustain themselves.
Yep.
Yep.
I received this great blessing by following their instructions.
And that's why she would want everyone to think and believe that.
Yep.
Because as long as they do that, then...
Perhaps if you are deemed worthy, you can receive the same blessing. If so, I look forward to seeing you in the world beyond.
Charlotte folds up the letter and stuffs it into her jacket.
And that's all she wrote. How wonderful. Let's celebrate, Bataille. Jessica and Gary have repatriated.
Charlotte turns on her heel and saunters away. She disappears inside the station building. Yeah, so we don't know if that actually came back on the train, if that's actually what it said on it. You know, like, there's a lot we can't take at face value.
But
here.
also, why wouldn't it come back on the train without it saying that on it? Because the Bataille's organized for this shit. So they can probably have anything they want come back on the train.
Right. They wouldn't have to. I mean, I was thinking that, like, you could have just as easily pulled another note out of somewhere else, but yeah, I guess like if they're the ones controlling what comes in and out of that train, they could also manage for that, right?
Yeah.
Especially if they have a way of negotiating with the people on the other side.
Which it seems like they do, seeing as Julian slipped and said he did.
Yep. So, man. Sorry, Julian. Seems like you'd be murdering people. Which I get, you're a vampire, but like...
And who isn't these days?
Most people. Most people are not vampires. I hope. I'm scared of Dracula's.
Me too.
Why are you here? Why does your voice sound like you have a different VA? Charlotte turns on her heel and... Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
So it's true. It's possible to escape the towers.
Here's the one thing I don't understand about this whole plan.
Mm-hmm.
This sets them up fine for now, but what is there, like... Somewhere along the line, someone must have done the math, right? About how quickly humans reproduce and how often they need to take one from the group in order to survive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, is that number 800 then?
I don't know.
Have they done the math on that?
And if it is the case, why take one from among the kids rather than the older generation who have already had a fresh generation?
Right. Because you'd want to be considering like the longevity and keeping the populace, stable.
Yeah.
Right.
Although
you
I
want
guess
to watch your hares and foxes, as it were.
I guess Jessica is a good special case because Julia knew that she was on to something and was sending threatening letters about the train.
You're right.
So this is a kill birds with one stone scenario. Get a nice dinner and also dispose of a troublemaker.
Right. So that one's going to be okay. So that's less of a like this is a calculated decision, more like a
oh fuck.
A killing of necessity, as it were. Okay, I can see that. The crowd breaks into cheers. My stomach squeezes into a fist. No, it isn't, Stacy. We still need to confirm the source of that.
Repatriate!
I don't know who started the chant, but it's growing, spreading through the crowd. No, please, listen to me. Nothing has changed. These towers will still slaughter anyone who tries to walk past until I can confirm that letter's origins.
Repatriate!
My voice is lost completely. The people are celebrating and they don't want to listen. I feel panic rising in my gut. This reminds me of what happened a few months ago to the cops who thought they could leave. I don't have time to dwell on that awful memory because I see Julian and his guards loading the wounded man onto a stretcher. I hurry towards them. Where are you taking this man? Oh, right, because as soon as someone gets wounded, where do you think they're going to? They don't have a hospital here, right? So
they have a nurse.
They have a nurse, but to receive medical care, of course. I feel like there's something off about Julian. He's fidgety and hyper alert. His eyes blaze more intensely than usual. I'll handle this. He should see Nurse Kathleen. You want to put him in her joke of a hospital? That building still reeks of the animals it sheltered before she took ownership. No, we'll take him to the mansion and call for Nurse Kathleen from there. I can't allow you to do that. My hand moves to my gun. Julian and all of his guards stop moving to watch me closely. Yo, Erica! Okay. Really? I beg to differ. I think the easiest thing for you to do right now would be to drop this whole issue and return to the police station. The same guard who shot the civilian now has his hand around his gun. Despite myself, I'm scared. I'm outnumbered here. If this came to a fight, there's no way I'd win. Thankfully, in a gunfight, as the number of gunmen gets greater and greater, their locations in a gunfight become statistically knowable. Someone steps up beside me. To my surprise, it's Maddie. She's trembling, but her eyes burn with resolve. Yo, Mads!
Unfortunately, I'm only a green belt in gun kata. Julian, this is the sheriff you're talking to.
I'm well aware of that, Madeline. I'm also aware that the title of sheriff only contains so much power as the people deign to give it. Oh, see, that's where you're wrong. Actually, sheriffs are more often than not written into the constitution of, like, certain state or local governments. So it's actually really hard to get rid of them if they're not performing the way you want them to. I strongly advise you not to put that power to the test. He leans a little closer to me, lowering his voice. Erica? I'm sorry. Sherika? I know you only want to help, and I appreciate that. I do. His eyes flick briefly to Charlotte, then back to me. But this is not the time. Your posturing will only cause more chaos. I think if we comply with Julian, this man dies for sure.
Yeah.
I think if we argue, then he might still die, but he's at least got a chance.
Okay.
You and your guards wounded this man. I have no reason to believe you won't harm him further. Well, you can believe that I'm not stupid. If I did something to him now, then you'd surely find out. How's that for my assurance? The longer we stand here arguing, the more that man bleeds out. It's quite a waste. Like, if they wanted the fact that he's a vampire to be a mystery, they wouldn't be putting it front and center like this. So that mystery has to be something around something else here. I'll need to get his name and contact info, and you better believe I will check in on him soon. As you should. Once I gathered the information, I watched Julian and his guards take the wounded man away. My stomach churns into knots. All illusions of control are unraveling around me. The same crowd that once tried to climb the train and fight the guards now celebrates the news of Jessica and Gary's repatriation. The Order of the Line, wearing caps in the style of traditional railroad conductors, where did they get those from, gather in large circle and chant together. I see Stacy among them wearing her own cap. Someone puts a hand on my shoulder. I turn to see Maddie.
I know this didn't go how you wanted, Erica, but it's good news, right? Jessica and Gary escaped after all.
Do you really believe that, Maddie? All because of one flimsy piece of paper?
But it came straight from the train.
The Bataille family supervises that train. They could have staged this whole Okay, yeah, she's on it. Okay. Yeah, they could have staged this whole thing.
Wow. Why would they do something like that?
I don't know, Maddie. Since you claim to know them, why don't you tell me? The crowd is dispersing. The chaos is subsiding, but somehow I feel worse than when I arrived here. Do you know where August went?
I don't know. I think he split off as soon as you went into the crowd.
Damn, that slippery bastard.
Oh, speak of the devil.
Oh no,
The jazz cup sweater. The jazz cup sweater.
Why? It's so beautiful.
It's wonderful. Real facts that SK can confirm. I definitely spent a while thinking about getting a full matching jazz cup outfit.
So she did, and I had to stop her. All right, hold on.
Oh,
Here we go.
Speak of the devil.
Excuse me?
I was just telling Liam what a strong, hard-working sheriff you are.
Did you say hard, strong, hard-working?
Shut up.
And I'm inclined to agree, but, Erica. Liam looks at August with obvious discomfort. Is this man really your partner? Well, I don't know if I'd use the word partner.
We are absolutely partners.
Dick kick, August. You don't
Not
like Maddie,
right
but you're happy to work with the Heartbreaker?
I'm not the Heartbreaker. There is no Heartbreaker. That nickname is absurd.
Drop it. This is not the time. Do either of you have any idea what just happened on that platform? I heard Charlotte giving a speech. Was it important? She claims a letter arrived with the train just now.
Arrived?
Supposedly, it traveled here from the outside world. Whoa, wait, are you serious? That's amazing. But why do you say claimed? Did you see it? I glimpsed it. Charlotte read it to everyone. Well, then that's great news. But I never got a chance to examine the letter myself. It could be fake, planted to derail my investigation. Oh, well, maybe I can help. I could talk to Charlotte about the letter for you and maybe retrieve it. I'd actually appreciate that, yeah. But I'd also like to investigate the train car in which the letter arrived. Well, for security reasons, that's impossible. I'm the motherfucking sheriff. Yes, but there are also motherfucking rules. Julian, well... I glance at August, curious what he thinks of all this, but he's staring into space, deathly pale. Yo, August, Earth August, you good there?
Hmm?
I was wondering if everything is okay on planet August.
Oh, I'm fine.
I don't think I've ever heard him lie so badly before.
I'll talk to Charlotte myself. Goodbye.
Well, and just like that, he walks off. I watch after him in a state of bafflement. Why is he called the Heartbreaker anyway? August? Well, when he kills, he removes the hearts from his victims and then pins them down with a knife. Don't! Because if that gets back to Julian, then Julian has the perfect way to frame someone else for the murders.
Yep.
If Julian knows August's MO, and letting August out then, well, I mean, it's not a long-term solution, but it's like the perfect way to at least make it seem like, derail the investigation.
Yep.
Oh, shit! When he kills, he removes the hearts from his victims and then pins them down with a knife. Yeesh, while they're alive? No, the heart is removed post-mortem. Oh, well, I mean, interesting. I mean, I have no idea how serial killers think, but I would assume they kill for the thrill of it or something like that. Your assumption is largely correct, but criminals are the heroes of their own story. They always try to excuse their actions in some fashion. The Heartbreaker seemed to think he served a larger purpose by killing people and removing their hearts. He created grotesque displays of his victims after their death. He drew symbols on the ground in their blood using some foreign language. Ugh. She didn't specify what foreign language. So when they try to frame August later on, they're going to use the wrong one. And only Erica will be able to point out, that's not the language. Hey, I swear to God, playing Umineko has ruined mystery games for us. I'm sorry, you probably don't want so many details. No, it's okay. I was curious. Because if that man really is the Heartbreaker, I'd like to know who I'm dealing with. How can he possibly work with someone like that anyway? Well, ask your fucking brother. He claims he's innocent. Man, do you believe him? Do we believe?
I don't know that I do.
The thing is, I don't know that I do, but also I don't know that it matters at this point.
Yeah.
Like, as much as he's an asshole, I kind of agree with his assessment. There's not a whole lot we can really do in a situation like this. Especially since we profess to believe that he should receive a fair trial.
Yep.
If that really is, what our stated belief, then, we can't do anything about it because we can't give him a fair trial for it.
We're shut up in the cat box.
Or the cat box is everything else, and we're... Yeah,
Cat box is all the way down.
Oh, God. To be fair, that was us with it, not the game. The game still hasn't done it yet. We're good for now. So do we believe him? Do we believe not Liam. Do we believe August when he says he's not the Heartbreaker? I don't think we believe him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be guilty of the crimes that are going to happen.
But the ones before, maybe.
Yeah. No. He can play nice all he wants, but I know August is the Heartbreaker. Well, that's my feeling too. And you have, and since Julian's your brother, you have a stated goal, or not a stated goal, but you have an interest in also deflecting the right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I'm glad to know that someone like you is keeping an eye on him. Besides, I think only a serial killer would act so casually about chasing my sister. He laughs a little, but I don't think he's entirely joking. So, what's next for you? I'll take whatever actions are necessary to retrieve that letter. I told you I'd ask Charlotte about that. Yes, but I mean, in case that doesn't work. Come on, you should be celebrating. Maybe, but... No buts. You're gonna do something fun tonight. Something fun to relax and forget about work. Tell me something. Do you ever take off that sheriff badge other than when you put your PJs on, ever? No, it's epoxied.
To the jacket, or?
I'm not comfortable with this line of questioning. I have to admit, he has a point. That's what I thought. Fine, so you tell me something then. What fun am I supposed to have in this goddamn fucking town? Wow, I didn't add that one in. I didn't add that one in. That's all natural. First of all, ouch. I have to admit I share the town's name, so I can't help but take that a little personally. Secondly, I have an idea of something fun we could do. I'm all ears. No. This is better off as a surprise. I hate surprises. You also seem to hate fun. Maybe it's time for a change? Aside from the fact that your brother seems to be killing people, and if you're also a vampire, you probably also have to be, right?
Yep.
Like, but at least you're, like, affable. Like, I feel like we could, like, get along. What exactly do you want me to do, then? I want you to meet me somewhere. He gives me some directions to an area in Bataille. Unless he's purposely trying to, depending on how in deep he is, this could either be just like, oh yeah, I want to have a fun night, or it could be their way of getting rid of the one person who isn't bought into the story. Or more likely, that is what this is, a plan to get rid of the one person who doesn't buy into it, but something goes wrong and we'll disguise that fact and the evening will just turn out normally. What is in that area other than a few abandoned buildings? I guess you just have to come find out. Right. Sounds amazing and not at all creepy. Sarcasm. Nice. I'm gonna take that as a good sign. Behind me, the crowd is dispersing, but I still occasionally hear the word repatriation chattered to the sky. Listen, I should get back to work. Well, so should I, but then we're both going to relax, okay? I'll see you there at 8 o'clock. Fine. I make my way through the dispersing crowd until I find Maddie.
Sherika, there you are. Is something wrong?
Only you call me Sherika, Maddie. Of course something's wrong. Based on a flimsy piece of paper I didn't get to examine, people have hope that they can leave town again.
Is hope such a bad thing?
It is when it results in heads literally exploding.
So I guess this means you're not ready to close the case.
You're damn right I'm not.
Oh, good.
Her response surprises me. You're not going to try and talk me out of it?
Well, I do think it'd be nice to celebrate a little. I want to believe that Jessica and Gary really are safe somewhere out there. But I also want to keep working the case with you. I'm afraid you'll find me once it's over.
I study Maddie for a moment. She proved useful today and she sounds sincere, but I have to remember how this all started. She might be helpful.
Yeah, she might be helpful.
If it is what we suspect it is and it's a thrall scenario, she might not be entirely in control of her actions. Or she might... More likely than that is that she's being threatened. But I don't buy yet that she's a willing participant on their side.
Yeah, she sure doesn't sound like one.
And her teeth are normal.
Yep.
You might be helpful. I appreciated your help today. As long as you don't make another mistake like the one in the cabin.
I really don't know what came over me that day. I'll keep doing better, I swear.
Yeah, see, that makes it sound like it's a thrall thing.
Yep.
And Julian did try to do that thing to us at one point, right? With the...
Seems like
the
it.
mind. Yeah. None of the books have mentioned it yet, and that's the kind of thing you'd expect they would have mentioned, but... Good. Because if that's true, I could really use the help.
No shit. Your partner's an accused murderer. If I can't rise above that bar, then we're all in trouble.
Maddie falls silent for a moment. For some reason, she looks down at her elbow and touches it gently. I remember how her elbow was bandaged when she first came to the precinct. Is something wrong?
No. Yes. I want to talk to you about something. Something I've been thinking.
Do you know something about Jessica and Gary?
No, I guess it's more about me, but it might be important, maybe. Unless I'm just imagining things.
Oh no. So she suspects. You're not making a very strong case here.
I know, I'm sorry. I don't want to waste your time.
Look, I'm still on the job. We need to make sure that none of these happy idiots feel inspired to cross the towers. You understand? I'm going to patrol the perimeter, and if you really want to help, you should too.
Okay, I will.
Maybe we can talk after that?
Really?
I'm supposed to meet Liam around 8. May not have time until after.
You're meeting Liam. I thought you were dating Julian.
I'm not dating either of them. I'm using whatever chance I can to get information from them.
Oh, good. Then I can wait until you get back from your meeting.
Fine. I'll meet you back at the precinct later tonight. And then we'll talk.
Sounds good.
Good, so someone knows that we're going.
Yep.
And someone knows who we're meeting.
Yep.
So if we go missing... Unintentionally good job there, Erica. Sherika. Sherika. How do you explain to people that just doing the portmanteau words is just a thing? Like,
you don't. You just keep rolling with it. They'll pick it up. They can pick these things up from context.
I suppose. Boom. All right. We'll see you all next time.
Next time.
Probably. I might be replaced with a replicant by then. Or it could be a vampire.
That's scary. No.
1, 2,
Oh,
3,
shit. It's starting.
4th episode.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.